Fallout New Vegas just recently got a totally new update. And actually Oblivion and Fallout 3 also just got new updates. Now, for better or worse, this is specifically and only for Xbox users, and even further, really only benefiting next generation Xbox users. But for those PC players out there, don't worry, I have something for you also in this video. Over the past week, I've been getting a ton of messages about this. Basically, what Microsoft did was update the emulator for Fallout New Vegas and in turn give it an FPS boost functionality. So Fallout New Vegas, in addition to Oblivion and Fallout 3, can now be ran in 60 FPS on the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X. Unfortunately, I am not one of the privileged few to actually get my hands on one of those consoles yet. Can't even get an Xbox Series S where I live, but there's a ton of videos online showcasing this, and you can see things look really good compared to this older Xbox One X gameplay. There's two major differences you're going to notice. On one hand, things are just way smoother because it is 60 FPS now, but even further, there's been a lot of people wondering, is there actually some kind of resolution upgrade here or something else going on? Why do things look crisper? And it seems like that's actually going to be a result of the multi-sample anti-aliasing that is happening. This is due again to the emulator, how it's being run on the next generation of consoles, and that's what's getting rid of some of those jagged edges that you could very clearly see in my gameplay on the older generation Xbox One X. Unfortunately, this still means that even on next-gen consoles, Fallout New Vegas is still only running at 720p. Now, thankfully, now it's actually at 720p and 60 FPS, which is a huge upgrade. And frankly, with a game like this, it doesn't even need to look that good. It still is enjoyable, and the 60 FPS again is a huge bonus. But unfortunately, at least as of right now, there is still no resolution upgrade. It's still running at 720p. Naturally, following this, there's a ton of speculation. Oh, what does this mean? Is there a remaster on the way? Is there not? And I mean, on one hand, it really doesn't mean much of anything. This is Microsoft really just upgrading their emulator. In fact, in an interview we got from 2019, Todd Howard mentioned how technologies like this are one of the reasons he doesn't necessarily like full-on remasters. Because with things like backwards compatibility or even hypothetically FPS boost, you can even in 2021 still run and play Fallout New Vegas on your modern hardware and even with some bonuses. Although that's not all. I knew some of you would be disappointed this only impacting next-gen consoles. Again, even if you have an Xbox One or an Xbox One X, unfortunately the 60 FPS will not carry over. But just a couple of weeks ago, New Vegas on PC get the New Vegas Mesh Improvement mod. This is going to optimize, improve, and overhaul thousands of meshes in New Vegas, although not armors or weapons, at least not yet. It's been a work in progress for years, so it's really nice to finally see this release in more layman's terms as far as what this actually does. From some of the pictures, it's quite illustrative. See how here on the side of this bridge that texture is all messed up and stretched, and now that is fixed. See how the lighting here is all glitched out and not actually flowing properly? That is fixed. Just imagine little fixes like this across the entire game, as there are literally thousands of them, and it will help better shape the hitboxes of many of the things in the game. So when you're crouched next to and shooting past an object, no longer will your bullets keep hitting air and stopping in place. Now they'll hopefully most of the time actually fly past it. And this also means if you are running New Vegas on PC and struggling to get a consistent 60 FPS, it will also give you a bit of an FPS boost. When possible, this mod will reduce draw calls, triangle count, and even the vertex count on some objects, and in turn you'll actually get a slightly higher FPS, or even just in general the game running a bit more smoothly. And this is definitely a must download the next time you're playing a fully modded playthrough. Even if you don't directly recognize some of these changes, it's a perfect background mod. One of the ones that you just throw in your load order and never think about again because you never have to remove it. But that's the situation. The FPS of Fallout New Vegas doubling from 30 to 60. Unfortunately, it's still being at 720p resolution. And on the PC side, at least, hey, we get this awesome new mod as a standalone from the Tale of Two Wastelands guys. Hopefully you guys found this one informative. With that, I hope to see you all next time. Later.